When you look at any major construction project, say a gleaming new tower or a massive infrastructure overhaul, you see this mastery of engineering.
Mhm.
But what often goes completely unseen is the true silent killer of success.
Financial volatility. Yeah.
Exactly. We're talking about projects that balloon, 40% over budget. Projects that just stall because the initial estimates were flawed.
And that financial volatility is the single greatest risk in construction. I mean, it often far exceeds the actual physical risks on site.
Right.
And that's precisely why we're doing this deep dive today. We're focusing on the professional who acts as the project's, well, its essential commercial navigator, the budget safeguard,
The quantity surveyor, or
Yeah.
QS.
the QS.
So our mission today is to go way beyond the standard job description. We want to unpack exactly who the QS is, what these high-stakes services they provide are, and fundamentally why they're the critical economic architect of a project.
From the very first drawing right through to the final sign-off.
Absolutely.
And to give this conversation some real weight, we're anchoring our understanding in, the highest standards of the industry,
The gold standard.
the gold standard. We're talking about professionals who follow the strict guidelines of organizations like the Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, the AAIQS, or those who hold the Certified Quantity Surveyor designation.
So these are specific certifications, but they represent a kind of universal benchmark for expertise.
That's right. It's a global standard for construction cost management.
So we're definitely not talking about some basic bookkeeper just counting bricks here.
Oh, absolutely not. The role is,
Yeah,
it's complex. Our sources are very clear on this. This isn't just cost estimation.
it's more than that.
It's a holistic approach.
Right.
It includes construction cost engineering, detailed cost management, tactical value engineering,
Hmm.
and strategic value management.
Right.
This is the difference between simply recording costs and actively shaping them.
That distinction, recording versus shaping, that feels crucial. So let's unpack that. If the QS is this economic architect, what are the foundational things they have to do before a single excavator even shows up?
Okay, so the baseline responsibility is all about rigorous precision.
Yeah.
The QS's primary function is to estimate costs with, well, surgical accuracy,
Okay.
and to calculate the precise material needs and map out these really integrated project timelines. They're the only people on the team who are experts at costing buildings accurately, while at the same time making sure the whole thing meets all the legal and quality rules.
So they're essentially translating the architect's vision into the language of finance and law.
That's a perfect way to put it. And that translation, it begins at the earliest possible stage.
The feasibility study.
The feasibility study, they consult with the client, with the architects, the contractors, all on preliminary cost analysis.
Yeah.
They vet the whole project to make sure the financial structure is sound before, huge amounts of capital get committed.
This is a point I think a lot of people miss. They imagine the QS is someone you hire when you start building, but you're saying they have to be there when you're deciding if you should even build.
Precisely. Think of that feasibility study as the final reality check.
Mm.
Is the building you want to build financially viable in this market, on this site, with this design?
And the QS provides that answer.
They provide that crucial answer.
Yeah.
If it's not feasible, they've just saved the client millions in sunk costs. If it is feasible, they provide the detailed calculation that becomes the backbone of the entire budget.
So what does that detailed calculation even look like? It's not just a spreadsheet, I'm guessing.
No, it's highly specialized. They break down quantities and costs for every single element. Materials, labor rates, the time frames for each trade. This isn't a guess.
Right.
This is a number validated against historical and current market data. It's reliable enough to base legal contracts on. And that calculation is the foundation for all the tenders and contracts that follow.
It sounds like the process that ensures everyone is speaking the same economic language, which I guess brings us to the next phase. The QS isn't a one-time service, right? They stay involved.
Oh, they stay involved throughout the entire project.
So how does that role change from pre-planning to active construction?
It shifts from analysis to control and documentation. Before construction even starts, their output becomes legally binding.
Okay, so this is serious stuff.
Very serious. They're responsible for preparing all the necessary legal docs, but most critically, the tender packages and the contracts. And inside that package is the famous, or maybe infamous, bills of quantities.
Let's pause there. The bills of quantities, the BOQ, that sounds like some heavy industry jargon. Why is that document so important?
The bill of quantities is the, let's call it the neutral financial roadmap of the project. It itemizes the exact quantity and quality of work for every single element.
Every single thing.
Every single thing. And the benefit is huge. It standardizes the scope so that every single contractor who's bidding is quoting on the exact same basis.
So no one's guessing.
No one is guessing. It reduces ambiguity, it prevents later claims of scope creep, and it's a massive protection against disputes. It just levels the playing field.
So it guarantees fair competition and protects the client from surprise costs later on because the scope was...
Razi, exact.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
Now, once the actual work is underway, that's when the real-time financial monitoring kicks in.
That's when rubber hits the road, yeah.
Yeah.
Once construction begins, the QS starts the financial control function. They're monitoring ongoing expenses against that baseline budget. They're identifying potential savings for the client in real time. And they're producing these regular progress reports showing exactly how the money's being spent. And crucially, they oversee and value the subcontractor's work, so payments are only approved for work that's actually been done and verified.
And cash flow is everything in construction. If a project manager has to wait weeks for a financial report, it can paralyze the whole site. Our sources mention really rapid turnaround times.
Oh, absolutely. The need for speed is critical. Cost reports, these estimates, they're typically delivered in just 3 to 5 days, depending on the project's scale.
That's fast.
It's very fast, and that responsiveness is vital. And what's more, these aren't just estimates based on a quick visit. They cross-check every single cost against massive proprietary benchmark data.
Ah, so they're independently validated.
Exactly. The results are accurate and validated against the market.
That benchmark validation seems like the commercial superpower here. The client isn't just getting an internal number, they're getting a figure that's been checked against the entire market. That gives you huge confidence.
And that leads directly into the higher level of service, which is consulting. The QS really functions as an elite consultant for the client. They give expert advice on advanced techniques like lifecycle costing.
So not just the cost to build, but the cost to run it over its whole life.
Exactly. As well as cost planning, procurement strategies, tendering, contract administration, and just overall commercial management.
They really sound like the financial strategic partner for the whole thing. And to show that breadth of service, they produce this almost dizzying array of specialized reports.
It can seem that way, but you can group them by need. Think of it in 2 big phases. First, there's the pre-build and lender validation phase.
Okay.
This includes your construction cost estimates and your project feasibility estimates. These are the documents that get the project funded and approved.
And the second phase?
That's your in-progress financial control. This is where they generate the vital operational documents, things like the project cost verification report.
Which confirms money spent matches value delivered.
Right, and the project cost to complete reports. That last one is maybe the most critical mid-project document there is. It tells the client, with accuracy, exactly how much more money they need to cross the finish line.
That project cost to complete report sounds like the ultimate stress test. It's like the truth serum for the budget.
It really is. And they don't shy away from complexity either. They also handle the detailed assessment of contract variations, which is essential when designs inevitably change. And they prepare required regulatory reports, like Quantity Surveying Council reports. The QS is the authoritative financial voice, period.
Okay, so let's shift focus to the return on investment. Engaging a QS comes with a fee. If you, the client, are already paying a project manager and an accountant, why is this extra investment worth it?
This is the absolute crux of the issue. Cost offsetting. While, yes, choosing a QS comes with a professional fee, their ability to proactively identify significant cost-saving opportunities often exceeds and offsets their entire fees.
So they become a profit center, not a cost center.
Precisely. They make sure the client achieves their goals without unnecessary financial strain by finding efficiencies that, frankly, a standard account or a contractor just wouldn't see.
Can you give us an example? What's a cost-saving opportunity they might find that an accountant would miss?
Absolutely. So this is the domain of value engineering and value management. And this isn't about just choosing the cheapest option.
No, it's about value.
It's about achieving the same required function at the lowest lifecycle cost. For instance, a design might call for a specialty imported steel structure for an internal wall. It's expensive, requires custom fabrication. The QS might propose a locally sourced, high-strength concrete aggregate solution that provides the same structural performance the same fire rating, but costs 15% less and speeds up procurement.
Because the material is right there.
Right there, readily available. So they're making a technical and commercial trade-off without sacrificing quality or performance goals. It's a very sophisticated analysis.
And that ties right into their role as risk managers, I'd imagine.
It does. Construction is just inherently risky. You've got unexpected site conditions, global material prices going wild, late design changes. The QS is skilled at formal risk management. They build contingency into the budget based on probabilistic analysis, which helps mitigate issues before they become catastrophes.
But if they're so crucial for managing risk, why do we still see so many high-profile, complex projects, these mega projects, facing massive overruns? Is there a limit to what a QS can do?
That's an important question. The failure is rarely in the methodology of the QS, but often in the implementation.
How so?
Sometimes commercial pressures lead developers to engage the QS too late in the game, after key contracts are already signed. That limits their ability to influence design or procurement.
So their hands are tied.
Or they might use the QS for the initial estimate, but then they neglect the ongoing cost management and value management services. The professional can only manage the risks they're allowed to address. They need full access and authority to be effective.
That makes perfect sense. The value is maximized when the expert is integrated, not just consulted at the start. What about the administrative side? Compliance, timelines.
For tight deadlines, they're essential for keeping momentum. They can streamline the whole procurement process, optimizing when materials are ordered and delivered to prevent bottlenecks on site. And beyond speed, they handle regulatory compliance. They make sure the project meets all legal and contractual requirements, which, as anyone in construction knows, can be a massive headache.
And finally, when conflicts do arise, because it's a high-pressure environment, they act as the neutral, authoritative voice.
Absolutely. They are critical in negotiation and dispute resolution. They advise on claims, on disputes, using their detailed knowledge of that BOQ and the contract to protect the client's interests. They know exactly what was agreed upon, what was built, and the financial impact of any change. They're continually assessing the value for the client's investment.
So to bring this all together for you listening, the quantity surveyor is this versatile, strategic expert you need for financial success no matter the project. Residential, commercial, industrial. They are the essential commercial manager.
They are. Their expertise transforms raw cost data into strategic financial insight. They specialize in maximizing value while minimizing risk. That's the core equation for any successful capital project. Without them, honestly, a construction project is just a high-stakes financial gamble.
And that brings us to our final thought. We've established that the QS's role is to assess value and manage risk, and that it's critical to bring them in early. But if we know that integrating them earlier, right at the moment of conceptualization, before design is even fixed, makes such a difference, how might adopting that QS-first strategy fundamentally change the whole dynamic of innovation in construction? If that financial reality is managed from day zero, does it free up engineers and architects to take bigger, bolder, more innovative design risks, knowing the commercial side is constantly being moderated?
It completely shifts the conversation from "can we afford this?" to "how do we creatively afford this?" Moving that commercial expert to the conceptual front lines. It might not just secure budgets. It might unlock a new era of financially sound, yet radically innovative, building designs all over the world. It's a powerful thought on the future of development.